I wonder what people will say today. I wonder what people will say to discredit Arsenal's 4-0 away win against Leeds, in which, let's be honest, is one of the most difficult grounds to go to this season. Leeds United are a very, very unpredictable team. Calvert-Lewin is in very good form this season, and Arsenal have just turned up. Victor Gyokeres on the score sheet, Gabriel Jesus on the score sheet, Noni Madueke and Martinelli assists. All these players have been heavily, heavily criticised by Arsenal fans this season. And it now puts huge pressure on Manchester City, who play tomorrow against my team Spurs. And I'll be honest, I am in a dilemma because I don't want Spurs to get dragged into a relegation battle. And if West Ham beat Chelsea later on today, there could only be 5 points between us. But equally, I don't want Arsenal to win the league. So I don't really know. A draw helps Arsenal. A win for us helps Arsenal. A win for City, and we're getting dragged in further into the relegation zone. But Arsenal went out there today. They were convincing. Very, very convincing. Bearing in mind, 3 Premier League games without a win. They only reduced Leeds United to 3 shots, 1 on goal. Now, listen, I have only watched the extended highlights. My stream kept breaking up. So if I do miss anything, let me know down in the comments. But it's an Arsenal team today that went full strength, bounced back, clean sheet again. Another away victory in the Premier League. And right now they have moved 7 points clear over Manchester City, which could be a huge, huge game for a number of reasons tomorrow. Aston Villa play at 2 p.m. as well against Brentford. They equally can put the pressure on Man City if they win and put the pressure back on Arsenal and reduce that gap down to 4 points. And the way Aston Villa are playing at the moment with Rodgers, they look like it's inevitable that they will win. But I want to talk about a couple of players today. I want to talk about Noni Madueke because he was very, very, very good. Very, very good. Bearing in mind, a player that's been criticised on a number of occasions, as well as Gabriel Jesus comes off the bench, gets a goal. Gyokeres, again, I think he's close to approaching 15 goal contributions now this season. There's a lot to get into. Make sure you go down and drop a like on the video if you haven't already. Make sure you do hit that subscribe button. The road to 100,000 is on, and it's genuinely, we're getting close now, guys. We're about, I want to say, 80 away from 88,000. So please go down and hit that subscribe button. I want to bring up the lineups up on screen because there wasn't really, other than Bukayo Saka out, it's pretty much full strength. I think it was the right call to play Havertz in the 10. Martin Odegaard has got criticised so much recently from rival fans, from Arsenal fans, from pundits, from ex-Arsenal pros that have won major honours, coming out there and saying this shouldn't be the Arsenal captain. And Arteta had to make a big call today, and he made a call, and it paid off. Zubimendi, another one that was massively criticised against Manchester United for passing the ball away, gets an assist today. Gabriel Saliba, second half, didn't really have to do anything. Timber got better as the game went on, and Nkapie starts at left back. He didn't really have to do too much. And what's important as well is he made the right substitutions at the right time. He brought on Odegaard. He brought on Gabriel Jesus, who scored. And they win the game comfortably 4-0. I was quite disappointed with Leeds, I'm not going to lie. I thought they would put up a much bigger fight. Only 1 shot on target. But Arsenal created 7 big chances, which is their most in a long, long time. And they were aggressive. They were on the front foot. They were attacking. It was one of their best performances of the season. It now puts them 3 points clear of Aston Villa in terms of the away table in the Premier League. And it puts them, more importantly, 7 points clear over Aston Villa and over Manchester City. But let me know your thoughts on the lineups. In terms of the benches, like I said, he did make a number of changes. Gabriel Jesus come on, scored. Martinelli come on, got an assist. Odegaard come on, got an assist. He made those changes early. And bearing in mind, only Dowman out of their entire squad. And can you really class him a first-team player? Because it is only 15. It was only Dowman that is out missing. So they got a huge game Tuesday night against Chelsea, in which if they win, they would make the League Cup final. And I see a crazy stat earlier, something like they could play Manchester City 4 times or something in the next 5 or 6 weeks, which is absolutely insane. It really, really is. Now, in terms of, the first half, they scored, 2 goals very, very, when you look at how the game was going, up to the first 20 minutes, I thought Arsenal were going to grow into the game, which they did. They then get 2 goals from Zubimendi and another own goal. I think own goal is now Arsenal's 3rd or 4th highest goal scorer this season. Zubimendi makes it 1-0, puts Arsenal in front. A period of pressure, another corner kick, which Madueke put into the box, into the 6-yard box. Darlow again gets a decent touch to the ball, but Leeds can't fully clear it. And then Madueke curls across over to the top, and Zubimendi scores from close range. And bearing in mind the amount of criticism this guy got for giving the ball away against Manchester United, and I don't think it was his best performance by against Man United at all from Zubimendi. I don't think any of Arsenal's players really held their head held high against United. I thought United deserved the win. They bounced back against Karat Almaty, and they've just gone out there and absolutely dismantled Leeds. And then Noni Madueke gets his first Premier League assist of the season, a decent ball in from right, sends in a cross, which Zubimendi, scored from. And then Darlow does not cover himself in glory, does he? It is a bit of a howler. Elland Road is a very, very hostile place to go for, but that was just pure silence in and around the stadium. It was Arsenal's 6th corner of the match, and they were putting him in right on the penalty spot, right on the goalkeeper. Darlow tries to meet the ball at the near post, which completely impedes Calvert-Lewin, and the goalkeeper punches it down into his own net. And you get in at half-time, and you just think to yourself, well, that's game, set, and match. Because I look at this Arsenal team different to the Arsenal team I looked at last year. They've grown some mentality in terms of they are quite easily right now. They're quite easily right now managing games out a little bit better. They're quite easily getting more clean sheets. They're as a better defensive unit. Half-time comes around. Noni Madueke, I think, that's one of his better performances in an Arsenal shirt. They make it 3-0, and then they make it 4-0. Gabriel Jesus comes on for Gyokeres. Gyokeres makes it 3-0 in the 70th minute, and that was game, set, and match. And this guy has been criticised more than any other player for Arsenal this season. He's now their top goal scorer in the Premier League, and I think he's on for 12 or maybe 13 goals this season. He's got 6 in the league, 4 in the Champions League, 1 in the League Cup. I think he's on close to 15 goal contributions this season, which he is getting better. How he finishes the season is what he'll likely be more judged on. It's a decent finish from him, and then Gabriel Jesus comes on and wraps it up and makes it 4-0. And you sit there and you think, when you look at the match stats, when you look at possession, shots on target, when you look at all the metrics, Arsenal were by far the better team today, and they deserved the victory. The only metric that Leeds United should be happy with is the fact that it was only 4-0. 8 shots on target, 7 big chances created, 5 big chances missed. 2.31 XG, 51% possession. And that puts Arsenal 7 points clear again. And Manchester City have to play us. And like I said, it's a very, very difficult game for me as a Spurs fan, because I don't want Arsenal to win the league, but I don't want to help them. Especially don't want to help them win the league. And you look at Man City right now, they've only won 1 of their last 5 games. They're not in great form. Equally, we're not in good form. Our home form this season has been nothing short of a disgrace. It really, really has. But I look at this Premier League game goes down one of two ways. If we play to our strengths and play Manchester City on the counter, dig deep, show a bit of grit, show a bit of determination, I think we can come away with something. If we try and take the game to Manchester City, we will lose. Bear in mind, we've already beaten them this season. And Man City, in terms of their away record, it's down in 6th, whereas our home record, we're down in 19th. So every single thing should tell you that Man City will win this game. But I just have a feeling that we will turn up. In terms of turning up, that's exactly what Arsenal did today. When you look at the momentum, from the 70th minute onwards, Leeds barely offered anything. And Arsenal completely dominated the first half. But they have to go out there now and beat Chelsea. This result is very, very important. But the next game is equally as important against Chelsea in the League Cup. And I look at their next 5 or 6 games. They play Wigan in the FA Cup, which is a comfortable draw. They've got Brentford away, Sunderland next in the league, which I think they've actually got quite a few games in February. The Champions League as well, I believe, will be getting played in, I think the next round is in March. But it's a very, very important win for them today. The only thing that matters is the 3 points and the clean sheet. People need to put a little bit more respect on Gyokeres today, a bit more respect on Gabriel Jesus. In terms of Leeds, that isn't great for their relegation hopes. Let's be honest, they're right down amongst it now in the league. And if West Ham get the right result today, they could move within 3 points. If Nottingham Forest go out there and win tomorrow against Crystal Palace, which you imagine they will go, they'd go above Leeds, and Leeds will be down to 16th. But it's a long way to go in the Premier League season. Let me know your thoughts on Leeds 0, Arsenal 4. Make sure you drop a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. I'll be back later on tonight for the Newcastle versus Liverpool match reaction, as well as Chelsea versus West Ham. I'll see you in the next one. I am